Hello everyone, welcome to OctoStudio. I'm going to walk you through the first project I did with the first graders this week. This is a brand new app. It's only been out about a month or so by the same folks that at MIT that brought you Scratch Junior and Scratch 3.0. So far I am loving it. It lives sort of right between those two worlds. So when kids aren't ready for Scratch 3.0, but they've sort of maxed out the Scratch Junior platform. So we're going to create a new project up here, and it lets you start with a sprite or a backdrop. We're going to start with a sprite. And the concept of our game that we're going to make is one sprite trying to eat or capture two other sprites that are moving around randomly. I'm going to call mine Feed the Emoji. So I'm going to look for an emoji that looks like it is hungry. So we'll just go through here and look for one that's got a mouth open, like it's ready to eat. So maybe we'll just pick, this one right here, the standard happy emoji. And then I'll pick a background, and I will pick this kind of purplish one. You can also import things and such in here as well, but we're just using the standard ones. Okay, so a few things that are handy up here. This little button allows you to kind of make the screen bigger and minimizes your code space. This goes to full screen. This app only works in portrait mode, by the way, which is one of the things that I don't love, but I see where they're coming from here. Okay, so my emoji, I'm going to pinch it to make it smaller. I don't want it too big. And to start our game, we're going to come up with the title. Look for the title button here. It's called text. There it is. I'm going to bring it up, text, and I'm going to call it, let's see, some caps locks on, feed the emoji. I can change the color. Let's go with like a red, and I can change the style. Let's go with pixel. There we go. All right. And I can drag this anywhere I want. I'm going to put it at the bottom for now. Okay, I hit my check mark when I'm done. So I have my title, it says feed the emoji. And now I am going to make my emoji move about the screen when I tilt. So there is a tilt to move code right down here. It automatically puts it in a forever loop with this one, which is what you need anyway. And you can modify what kind of tilt, left and right or up and down, or all four directions, which is what I want, and the speed. I'm going to leave it right there in the middle. Okay. Now when I hit the play button, after it shows my title, I can tilt my emoji around. It starts the accelerometer at the whatever plane the iPad is at, so make sure you get it the plane you want when you start. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to add two more sprites. So I can do it by hitting this little sprite button here. I'm going to tap on that, and I want the two things that my emoji is going to eat. So this emoji is going to eat a donut. I'm going to donut sprite. I'm going to add one more sprite, and in addition to the donut, let's get a piece of cake. Okay, sweet tooth emoji. Okay, I'm going to shrink these a little bit as well. All right, let's begin with the cake. So now I want the cake to move about at a random from one location to the other. So I'm going to start with a forever loop. I'm dragging a forever loop. And then I'm going to look for my location code, which says go to right here. And I put that in the forever loop. And I'm going to tap on the location button, and I'm going to hit the dice, because the dice are going to randomize the location for me on the X and the Y coordinates. Kids don't really know what the X and Y coordinates are yet in first grade, so that helps a little bit. And I'm picking the middle shoe there. Okay? And I'm going to do the same thing for my other sprite. A little shortcut for that is if you just rest your finger on this code sequence, it'll bring up copy script to, and then I can just send it over to the donut and hit the check mark. And then when I go to the donut, my donut has that code sequence already. Now if I hit play again, I should get my title, and then the random bouncing around of my cake and my donut. Now I can go and trace after them, but they don't disappear or anything yet, which is the next step. Okay, so the next step is I want my cake and my donut to disappear when they touch my emoji. So I am going to bring in a new code. When touches, so when the donut touches the emoji, we are going to have it hide. Okay. Now, we have to make it reappear. If I just have it hide, that's not going to solve all my problems. In fact, let's copy this over, actually. Copy this script over to the cake. Okay, so if I hit play now, you'll see that they disappear, and then they go nowhere after they disappear. Okay, so this is a good lesson for the students that we need to find a way to show them again. And in order to do that, there's a few different ways you can do it. You can bring the show code here, but the way I like is to put the show code in here. Like anything in programming, there's lots of different solutions to a problem. Some are more elegant than others. The reason I like this one is that what it does is once you catch them, it makes them reappear in a new location. Oh, I didn't copy the other code over yet, so that's why we're only getting the donut. But it makes them reappear in a new location because it has to wait until the random go-to finishes to have them show again. So let's go to the other one, and let's remember to put that show code into this one as well. There we go. Okay. All right, and we're back. Okay, so now we've got them both disappearing. Now we can add sound effects. So maybe we want to make a chomp noise whenever we touch them. So there's a few different ways we can do that. We could put the chomp noise on the actual cake, or we could put the chomp noise on the emoji. I'm going to choose to put it on the emoji, and the reason for that is I want to represent that the emoji is doing the chomping, not the cake or the donut. So we're going to bring in when touches twice. And we're going to need these touches codes in this character anyway for the score keeping. So in here, I'm going to change one to the cake, one to the donut. And I'm going to say when you touch the cake and when you touch the donut, you are going to play the sound. And tap there to get the chomp. Where are you? Chomp. There we go. Okay. And we're going to switch this to and continue. We're going to need it to be and continue later. And we duplicate that and put it here. All right. So now, hit play. I should get a chomp noise. There we go. Got it. All right. Perfect. Okay. So we got our chomp noise. We got them disappearing. We got them moving randomly. The next thing we're going to do is add a score. I'm going to put all the score code inside the emoji character. So the score is a variable. And yes, we did talk about what a variable is. There's two preloaded variables in this game. One is count and one is score. So we're going to move down to the variables. And we're going to drag up the set variable and put it in our start code. And it defaults to score. We're going to set the score to 0 when we start the game. Now we are going to change the score by 1 when the either of the two items are touched. And what this will do is it will start a score when we start the game and start keeping track. There is a show score code, but I notice it does it automatically. So it's kind of redundant unless you want to hide it and then show the score again. But in regular Scratch, you usually need to bring in the show variable code, but it does it automatically here. Okay, so now we're tracking our score. The next thing we need to do is we need to now create sort of a game end score. I mean, what happens when we get to the end of the game, how we win the game. So now we're going to bring in another one. We're going to do an if-then statement. And yeah, we did discuss these. So we bring the if-then statement into our forever loop, and it automatically defaults to the score, so we don't have to do anything there. We are going to say equals 25. Greater than or equals to works as well, but it should find it immediately because this is inside a forever loop, so it should constantly be looking for it. All right, and then we're going to say if the score is equal to 25, then we can say some text that says you win. you win. Let's change it to green or something. Oh, that's a little bit too bright. There we go. Okay, and then after that, we are going to do a stop all. You can put a sound effect in there too if you want. I do want to point out that this isn't quite perfect in that it will still track some extra points while it's showing the you win screen. You could put in a stop other scripts if you in this drop down and also then put another stop all thing after a delay there if you wanted to, but it's a little more complicated. So we're just going to leave it like this for our first graders. Okay, perfect. So now the game will show a you win and stop all. You know what? Let's actually put a sound effect in there as well. All right, let's put that one at the beginning actually. And instead of chimes, let's do something exciting like cheering. Okay. And we're going to make sure we say and continue. It'll only play the first 2 seconds of that cheering and then it will stop all, but that should be enough. Okay, so we've got that. Now, this is not anything that we got to in class. I think I showed one of the groups, but not everybody was able to do it. And that is a countdown timer. So in order to do a countdown timer, let's go back to the emoji and the screen's gonna start getting a little bit busier. We're gonna do a new variable. We're going to drag another variable in and set variable, and we're going to put it right in here. And we're going to grab the count, and we're going to set it to 60. We're going to be counting down instead of up. Okay? So when we start, we're going to get a count variable as well. You can drag these over anywhere as well. So let's drag count over there and score over there. Okay, now. So now we have a countdown and a score-keeping variable. So we're going to set the countdown to 60 to begin. Then we're going to drag in another when you hit play code. And we are going to say within a forever loop, in order to do a countdown, we're going to grab a forever loop. And then we are going to do a change variable. Okay. Change variable count by -1, and then we have to put a wait in there for 1 second. So let's grab a wait right there. So basically throughout the game, it's going to wait a second and then change the variable by -1. Okay, so we are not done yet, although it will start showing you the countdown. There we go, counting down. Perfect. Okay, so now we need to do another condition, an if-then statement for what happens if the count gets to 0. Okay, if the count gets to 0, then we are going to drag a new text code in and maybe a new sound effect as well. So let's drag in text code that says game over. Make it red. Okay. All right. And we are going to put in another sound. We're going to put that before it. We're going to make sure we say and continue. And let's come up with one that sounds like you lost the game. So what's uh-oh? Uh-oh. There we go. Perfect. Okay. All right. So now we have uh-oh, game over, and then we need another stop all. Where did you go? Stop all over here. And there you have it. Okay, this concludes the game. So I'm not going to play the whole thing, but if we continue to play it, what would happen would be timer's counting down from 60. I'm trying to catch all the food. If I get to 25 pieces of food, I win. If the counter gets to 0 before I get 25 pieces of food, then I lose. So that is it. All right, one quick thing before we go. I'm going to just go through the code again. You can look over it. And then the donut and the cake are identical. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy OctoStudio.